All right, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:31. It is March 20th. It is Fed Day. Be honest, I hate Fed days. The amount of back and forth that goes on, from 2 o'clock and then the presser and then the 3:15, maybe trend and then the reversal of the potential day tomorrow from today, it makes for a choppy tape. But there's things to do and there's ways to be prepared, and that's what we do. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club at 6:32. Let me give you a quick little glance at the disclosure, so this way my compliance department is happy. There you go. This is the chart of the S&P. Actually, this is the SPYs. Look how tight that's getting. Let me get my little comment section up so I can see my dogs from around the world. Can you guys hear me? We got EK in the house. We got Bobby 4.0, always with a great attitude. We have Dan, again, we have Juan, Blair, what's going on? We got Bill, we got Trey. Everyone's waking up. We did my little ice barrel this morning, little FMC video from there. I think I am now almost 18 months, or at least once a day, sometimes at 1.5 times a day. We got Tracy in the house. We got Tony, the teacher. We got B-Well from Austin. Hopefully everyone's feeling good, and we'll see what we have. I was just talking to my friend Petey, which I talk to every day on the way in. One of the most established, traders in the world. He's in his 70s. He's traded at hedge funds and been around the block a gazillion times, and we always just touch base. And it'll be interesting. The Fed whisperer, from the Wall Street Journal is thinking that he might be a little bit more neutral, which I think the street's leaning hawkish. We had the hot CPI, hot PPI. Everyone went from like 5 rate cuts, which I never agreed with, to 2, maybe 3. And the small caps have pulled in, the bios have pulled in, the S&P is wedging. I personally don't see how, he could be cutting, with inflation. To me is still sticky. Gas is still 320. Supermarkets are nuts. Restaurant costs are through the roof. Housing prices are still up there, and the stock market's still all-time highs. But anyway, I'm gonna have multiple plans going into it. So you take a look right here, at the SPYs. It's always good to have your levels and multiple plans. It's pretty tight. You have yesterday's high at 516, 517, 518. If it were to break above this area, if people were very short, think about all the people that have been on CNBC or in the news talking about a 2 to 5 to 10% correction. A lot of them might be overhedged and short. What happens if all of a sudden he's neutral today, leaning, and all of a sudden the percentage for June goes to 100% for a cut or whatever? You could then see a move through this little descending trend line, and then this is the recent high. We've been in this consolidation now for almost a week and a half. We'll see. Or he really pushes back and it sounds very, very, very dovish. And then all of a sudden, remember this gap from yesterday? By the way, we had a nice red dog reversal yesterday. A lot of people made really good money yesterday trading. They were able to buy, Nvidia with the red dog reversal. Apple did a red dog reversal. The SPYs, what's a red dog reversal? Well, it went below 512.44 and reclaimed it and went to 516. That's almost $3 alone in the SPYs. So anyway, this gap is now gone. So these are your levels to write down. If it gets above these, sometimes they love to push it through on Fed Day, squeeze the shorts, and then later create a topping tail, kind of like what happened here, or like to push it below the same way. So don't fall for the moves, but just be flexible and trade the ranges. Look at the weekly, right? So you want to see the weekly of the SPYs? It is kind of crazy, right? But you look here at the weekly chart of the SPYs, and what does it look like? It looks like another tight, this could be a bull flag, right? Here's your ascending channel. Ascending channels are always great when you're in them, but once they break, you better run for the hills, so you better be risk down. Here is your descending trend line. Remember this ascending channel from, you had the peak in the summer all the way down, and then this on the weekly chart. Look how bullish this candle was, how igniting this candle. This one candle took back these 2 weeks, and that's what started this. So we did have 2 weeks of dojis. What does that mean? Indecision. What does that mean? Consolidation after multi-week moves. But we haven't broken yet. In order to break, you got to get below and stay below a level, right? So in order to break this upper area, which just says like 510, 511, you got to get below and stay below it. You know, right now the SPYs are sitting here down a penny, heading into you know, what's it called today. So it's tight. All you can ask for is tight ranges, so you know which way it's going to go. When am I going on vacation? I'm going tomorrow, 12 o'clock. I leave for Aspen. Yes, Red Dog's all frou-frou going to Aspen. Not really, but I did grow up skiing, and I haven't really skied in a while because my son plays so many damn sports, basketball over the winter and lacrosse. So it's been hard to ski, and plus I never want to, he never wants to get injured or whatever. So a bunch of my friends are going. They plugged me in. So I'm going. So maybe I'll do a little video from the mountains at 2:30 with Mikey from Aspen, going to Snowmass and whatnot. But anyway, if any of you guys are in Aspen, look for Red Dog. I'll be there, and I'll be skiing with some of the crew. Anyway, so that's how tight we are right here. So, this weekly chart, although it's extended, and although everyone's talking about how overbought we are, if we continue, we continue. Who the hell are we to fight it, But anyway, you go back to the daily chart, you could see it a little bit closer up, which is right here. And just have multiple plans. Don't overdo it either. The Qs have been lagging a little bit, not too much. The Qs have been consolidating also. We had this gap here, this 432.74 that we've been holding. So this is your pivot resistance. Gets above 439, then you have 441, 444, and that was that high. So we're still going sideways here while some other flows have happened. Do I have an ice barrel lined up in Aspen? I don't, but we're staying right next to the St. Regis, and they have a really nice spot. So I might sneak in there and use their sauna and ice barrel, or I might just make, those snow things. We'll make some fun videos there. But anyway, so that's what that looks like. The XLE has played some catch up. We talked about this. My power plays are in Oxy. Look at the weekly chart. You look at the weekly chart. That's why everyone always gets upset. Well, the S&P was driven by 7 stocks. I'm like, okay, it's traded and being those damn 7 stocks. Oh, the XLE's been in this 2-year range doing nothing. Well, you could have made money once it cleared this 85 to go towards 93, and now we'll see, does it get above and stay above? If it does, that's not great for life. Good for all the energy stocks. But anyway, so this is coming up to a bigger spot. A lot of people got very, very, very bullish on the bios. I made good money in the bios, but you don't hear much about it now. But maybe if we get a little bit of a neutral dovish Fed, this was a good spot. I'm in some XBI, and I bought some calls back. If you remember, we had a really nice play. We were talking about this cup and handle, and now you came back and just retested it. So, this spot needs to hold. If this spot doesn't hold, then it's just going to be more out of play. We talked about this yesterday. So burpees on the ice. Then I don't want to slip and twist my ankle, but we'll see. Really, my focus yesterday was Nvidia. So a lot of people like, Red Dog, you're a narcissistic bastard with this Red Dog reversal, strategy. I'm like, it's just a fun name. You could call it a bottom tail. You can call it whatever, hangman bot, whatever, or top. Bottom line is, no one knew exactly what was going to happen with Nvidia yesterday, but all you knew was certain levels. We went over this yesterday in the 630 Club. I taught you guys about 861, 871, right? Those were the 2 pivots. And then this 840 area. So what did Nvidia do? It went down to 850 midday, okay? Made a low, came off that low. And then some traders were buying it when it reclaimed 861 because the sellers had no power to keep it below. And then some people were buying it 871. That was midday. Unfortunately, I wasn't at my seat when that happened, so I missed it. Yes, Red Dog missed that one. That was a great one. Then it went $15 and then went as high as 905. So with that being said, really nice trade if you knew how to adjust when you reclaim levels. Listen, if it stayed below 861 and showed sellers had power and this and that, who knows? Maybe it could have went lower. But that's why we identify those, actionable areas, which is what it was. So now for today, you can almost get rid of this now because it doesn't matter as much. And here we have this upper area now. We'll see, how long is this going to last? How long does this have to go sideways before heading into this upper end of the quadrant or not? So at this point, Nvidia is down 3. I would think at some point Nvidia goes from red to green and gives a push. 905 is a resistance spot, and and just continue to watch it. A lot of these semis are diverging. People are like, well, Red Dog, why did Nvidia have such a nice move and AMD was such a laggard? I guess maybe people were thinking about how much of a head start Nvidia has, and AMD, it doesn't have the same type of technology or whatever. So anyway, I wasn't thinking too much about it. All I know is he was a red dog reversal sell. This happened on March 8th, and since then it's been, they've been selling strength, and it hasn't been an easy trade. So for today, it'll be interesting, I guess. Let's see. Let's go to AMD for a second. It's down 72 cents, 180. So, here's the 50-day. Remember I say if you get out of it when it breaks the 8-day, what are you allowed to do? You're allowed to test, the 21-day, which didn't hold, or the 50-day. So anyway, so that's the thought process behind it. Some people are saying Red Dog used to trade, Tesla all the time. There was a RSI divergence here. Maybe you should be looking at it again, for some type of action. Well, if you look at Tesla, high, lower high, lower high, another, then came all the way and gave you a similar signal here. You made a little bit of money until this day, and it broke this ascending channel. So now in here, is it worth a look? It could be. I'm not in Tesla. I actually made money yesterday in it. Figured, hey, we were buying it, like 9.45 and it was down 5 or 6, but it wasn't an easy trade. So at this point, maybe Tesla wants to, get above this little spot and get towards the 21-day. Last time it got above the 8-day, it gave you a move, but I wouldn't be so excited about it. But we'll see. Let's go to Tesla right now. What's Tesla doing? It's up $1.29 at 172. It's right smack in the middle, so it's worth a look. Sometimes it's worth a cash flow look. Sometimes it starts a new active sequence. It all depends. Bottom line was pretty. I can't believe Elon came out and was talking about how he takes ketamine for his depression. I'll tell you, depression's crazy. It's real. Controls you. A lot of famous people died for depression. Look at Robin Williams. Guy was the funniest guy in the world. Had a family. Did everything you would, successful people would do, and then all of a sudden, killed himself. But anyway, just don't judge. But ketamine also, killed Matthew Perry in a bathtub. So maybe people are a little worried. What could happen to Elon at some point. But we're not going to talk about that. So what else happens on Fed Day? You guys with me? You guys have an iced coffee? What the fuck? Drugs. That's true, Bobby. I agree. This whole thing, someone asked me about Lilly. Lilly has been one of the #1 stocks, in the world. It just broke this 800, came back in, et cetera, et cetera. I'm an advocate. I'm like, what? Some people are like, Red Dog, why do you fast on Mondays? Why do you do all these things to kind of, test yourself? I'm like, because I want to just be in control of my mind. I want to be in control of my decision-making process. I want to make promises to myself that I keep to build my self-esteem, not take a pill, right? Take a pill to control my appetite and then have to take a pill forever. And then all of a sudden you have this box you see of 14 different pills. One thing probably affects the other. I'd rather go on my soda, my ice barrel, and try and control my mind and work on myself. Bobby said Bobby 4.0 in the chat because he's been Bobby 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Okay, so he's working on himself to become the best version of himself. That's how you make progress, not by looking for the easy way out. But anyway, I understand some people need it, but I get it. Intel to get 20 billion from the Fed. I actually saw that. Let me see what Intel looks like. All right, Intel, obviously, I haven't really looked at in a long time. Intel did have a big move. It changed a little bit. I saw this guy, Eric Freer. I don't remember what exactly his name was. I thought it was pretty interesting. You Google AI Red Alert. He actually got me to watch the video. He had like this kind of infomercial on, and I watched his video for like 15, 20 minutes, and it was just talking about the AI revolution and how this has been the first stage of it, and the next stage is going to happen so damn fast within the next 1 to 3 years. There are going to be so many jobs lost, like middle end jobs too, not like lower end jobs where there's, not saying it's a lower end job. Listen, you can make a lot of money as a plumber, a carpenter, an electrician. Those jobs are going to stay. You can't have an AI robot coming to your house to do that. But so many like $80,000 to $120,000 jobs are going to be gone through the efficiency of AI. That anyway, it was pretty interesting. I've lived through the .com era. I traded through the NASDAQ bubble bursting in 2000. I traded through the financial crisis. I was on TV every other day with Mark Haynes and Aaron Burnett. But anyway, this AI is real, and it's going to definitely change a lot of things in the world. And you want to keep your head above water and not not fall asleep behind the wheel. But anyway, we'll continue. Bitcoin resting. Everyone got very excited about Bitcoin when it got above 69, 70,000 and was talking already 100,000. They were yelling at me because I said we could probably go to 100,000 in 2025. And they're like, no, it's going to happen by May of this year. Anyway, if you look here, IBIT, which is the ETF, hit a high, came in a bit. This gap got filled. I was kind of thinking down here is where I would want to, on a swing trade, area, buy it back. But we'll see. As of this point, all you have is this, frame of reference. Let's go to Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin itself just had a decent pullback, but still, to me, it looks a little bit like no man's land. Okay, actually, look at that. You got a little red dog reversal in here from overnight. It went below this spot, came back above it. So maybe this is an area. So if you did sell it when it got, when it broke 69, we'll see now if it wants to, this was 52, went up. This could be a higher low in the series of higher lows, and can go again. But we'll see how it goes. At this point, it definitely lost a little momentum. The trade got a little loud. I actually bought some BITO calls on the bid because the spread was so wide in BITO that probably won't have enough time to work. But here's your new point of reference. Now, if it were to rally this 66, this will probably be some resistance if you're super active. So watch this spot if it wants to get back up to there if you're playing these things. I know the halving is coming up in 2 weeks. We'll see what kind of effect that has on it, etc. As far as other things, gold's going to be interesting. I know gold's really tight here. We had a really good trade with gold and silver. I tried to sell into some strength and hold only 25% of my options. Still kind of bled me a little bit. The bottom line is, is the GLD going to hold this 199 and then continue, or is it going to falter down towards the 21-day? It all depends. If the Fed is neutral to dovish, maybe gold has a good move today. I'd write that down. If it sounds like he's hawkish and he's not, lowering rates anytime soon, then it could see the 21-day. SLV also, kind of put a little short-term bottom. It would be nice if this is the short-term bottom. I made really good money in SLV because we cheated, and I was buying the SLV calls here, thinking it can get to the downtrend line, and then here I took off over half. So into this spot, I'm trying to go out further, in order to stay with this silver move, because overall in the macro stance, the silver move has done absolutely nothing, but it's done nothing for so long. Like, look at the size of this, this channel / wedge, and all it did is get back into the downtrend area. So if it could hold, higher and not retrace as much, I hope it doesn't go down that far, because then it's going to take forever. There's still this whole big void here. But again, we'll see. We'll take it, day by day, week by week, month by month. Know what you're going to risk. Then I guess we just had a little bit of a move with this MSOS. I put it on the do not touch list, but I guess I touched it right here when it took back the moving averages when Schumer was talking about it, and whatever the vice president's name is. I bought some and trimmed some, and now if it could hold here and go sideways, maybe there's another move. But people, it's like the boy who cried wolf. They don't want any more that he said, she said. It's going in the legislation. Like, they want to see the DEA rules relax. If so, maybe it clears the spot. I'm just smaller now. SOUN, it's a little small guy that it's not doing great, or it did great already, and now people are wondering if there's going to be another move here. This is SoundCloud that has a deal with Nvidia. Nvidia also invested in them, but much better to be in it down here at 4 than all the way up here. I guess see if this holds. If this holds, maybe you'll get a bull flag for it to continue. Maybe not. Anyway, it's 6:51. So let's go back to the SPYs. Here you are. It's very, very tight. Fed day gives you a bunch of different moves. You got to be very, very careful. Sometimes they're fake outs, lots of different fake outs. Don't get caught. Don't over trade. Here's your 3 levels. Above, in order to get to 517.38, you got to get above 516. Very sophisticated. In order to get to 518.22, you got to get above 517.38. In order to get to 508, what do you got to do? Got to get below 512.44, 511.13. So that's why we write down these numbers and levels, and that's why we look at, different, different, different sectors and different indicators. ONON. pretty interesting how ON came back real fast. I know for me, we played this perfectly, or pretty perfectly. We were buying the stock here at 28. I was buying options here, reduced a bunch, rolled up my options into here, got rid of most of all my options and all the stock. And now all of a sudden on earnings, because the FX came in and came back so fast, and now it still looks like, it's building for higher prices. But at this point, it's up to you. I'm not that interested. But there are guys who love the company and think that it's in the next 3 to 6 months it's going to be over 37 and be up here. That's cool. All I know is that this was a great pre-earnings move. We made really good money there. And thank God we don't take stock into earnings because if you're an active trader, that could beat you up a bit. Oracle. Some people ask me about Oracle. Oracle has Oracle's been in the same range for a long time. Oracle was here in July 16th of 2023. Here we are, in March of 2024. Big gap up. This is your point of reference. It looks as if it's ready to continue. So if this market, it wants to be bullish and AI stocks want to continue to go, this, could be a helpful leading indicator if it can continue. Overall, though, big channel here. So as extended as it looks, it still looks like, at some point this can continue to the upside. And also, just so you guys look, IBM, we made really good money here. But it also has this behemoth still has, leadership qualities. And as long as it holds this 190 area, if you're in a swing trade, that could be your spot. All right, guys, have a great day. 6:53. It is Fed Day. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll be in tomorrow morning. I got to figure out if I'm going to leave from the office with all my stuff to the airport. Plane leaves at 12. I probably have until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to try and, just clean up some loose positions and whatnot and figure out what I want to take when I go to the mountains. Yeah, Red Devils going to the mountains. A little excursion. But a lot of time between now and then. Some people are like, you excited for your trip? I'm like, it's friggin' Wednesday. Today could be feel like a week based on the action. I'm like, I'm not looking at Thursday 12 o'clock until Thursday at 10 o'clock. But anyway, as traders, we got to go day by day, day by day. As far as Meta and those guys, someone asked me to go over before I leave. It's tight in here. Meta's tricky. Meta still looks good. Looked like it was going to break down. Looked like it was going to go up. And then yes, it was down 12 and still in this range. So it's still building. Still one of the chosen ones. Amazon is still building. Still, look at this wedge pattern developing here. It's been a little tricky. I still have the 180 calls, but it's still in the game. So, these stocks are rebuilding. Sometimes you have upper wedges that break lower, higher. We'll figure it out. We're coming to another inflection point. And at inflection points, you have to be very, very flexible and let the market tell you which way it's going to go. And all these ranges are meant to throw you off because the market doesn't want you to be on board when ranges resolves and moves happen because the market's not here, to give you easy money. You got to work for it. You got to be willing to work. All of you guys that are tuning in my opinion, are willing to work. You're putting in the time, and I appreciate you. Later, guys.